Another Philadelphia Eagles season is coming to an end, and it is the same result. Not winning. Now granted, they may win this regular season game, but winning is getting the ultimate goal. Winning is getting the Super Bowl. And I personally don't really care about the NFL championships pre the merger into the unified NFL post Super Bowl III. My whole life, this team has been a loser. I mean, there's no real other way to paint it other than they've been a loser. And pardon me if I don't go too much into the game between... By the way, the Eagles are playing the Giants. There we go. I covered the game. And this team has always just found unique ways to lose. That's the thing that gets me the most. And I'm sorry if this is down and depressing, but frankly, I don't see how you can't be down and depressing if you have an ounce of passion for this team right now. Let me put things into perspective of how we lose in Philadelphia when it comes to this Eagles team, all right? The Philadelphia Eagles were 9-3 at Week 13. When teams get to 9-3, there's only been three times in the history of the NFL, this now being the fourth time, that a 9-3 team has not made the playoffs. This is how Philadelphia accentuates that. Those three previous teams, the last of which was the Buccaneers, it was like 6 years ago, they were 9-3 and they ended up not making the playoffs. This is, like I said, this is how Philadelphia accentuates this point. All of those three previous teams still had a chance to make the playoffs in Week 17. The Eagles are now the first 9-3 team to be eliminated from the playoffs before the final week of the season. There is nothing any rival fan out there could say to me, nothing about rings, nothing about how bad Dez burnt Bradley Fletcher or anything like that, how much butt fumble Sanchez sucks. None of that can sting more. Just knowing that we have arguably one of the most horrific collapses in NFL history. And never again will I be able to sit there with a 9-3 record, and once you get to 9-3, you should feel pretty good about your team. From now on in the future, anytime the Eagles get to 9-3, I'm always going to be like, oh, remember what happened in 2014? It's going to taint the excitement of that. Because, I mean, I know as well as you guys do that it's statistically improbable that you're going to miss the playoffs. It's only happened but 4 times as of this year. But not only did the Eagles not make the playoffs, they got eliminated with 1 week left to play. It's never happened before. Never. This is where I sympathize with Browns fans, with Bills fans, teams like that have just watched their team just dwindle, sometimes get near the edge, and Buffalo, the Super Bowls. Oh my God. Oh God. Just, oh my God. I'd jump off a fucking bridge if I had to put up with that shit. 4 Super Bowls in a row. Oh. Anyway, sorry, Buffalo. It's almost to the point where it's like, you know, is that much worse to be like a Cleveland Browns fan right now? Because I know, like, you know, they're not winning much of anything, much like the Eagles aren't winning much of anything. We both teased our fan bases to the bitter end here. But I see a team like Cleveland, I'm like, you know, Cleveland's never won a Super Bowl. But it's mostly because Cleveland has just sucked. Sorry, Cleveland, I don't mean to bring that point up, but it's mostly because you sucked. Like, what's the last decent starting quarterback they've had since Bernie Kosar? Like, hello? That team has just sucked perennially, annually. And with the Eagles, it's like, oh my God, NFC Championship appearance, NFC Championship appearance, NFC Championship appearance, NFC Championship appearance, Super Bowl, like the McNabb era. Oh my God, NFC East title, NFC East title, NFC East title. Just like all these chances of a really good team. Last year winning the NFC East and getting one done in the playoffs. It's all this shit of seeing this team be like they're gonna push up to that ultimate level, and then they never do. They never do. It's times like this where it really just shakes my passion at the core. And again, I don't want to go into the game. Like personally, I think the Giants are going to win. That's my prediction. And that's just not me hating. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you know what? I hope Sanchez has fucking 5 interceptions. I hope Bradley Fletcher gets dusted by ODB 5 times for touchdowns. I know Bradley Fletcher's got an injury this week, so he's probably not going to play because of that. I'm not going to root for my team to lose. I hope the Eagles win. And I hope something comes out of this that makes me say, oh, you know what? There's something a little bit more positive to look at for next year. Because right now you have all these question marks, all these concerns. Who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to be our wide receivers? Is Macklin going to be here? All this other stuff. But there could be some promise. We could see Nolan Carroll out there for a lot of the game. We could see Brandon Boykin out there for a lot of the game. We could see Marcus Smith actually in the game for more than 2 snaps. We could see guys like that possibly excel in a real football game and not something in preseason or practice. So this game can mean something. A game that means nothing for either team can mean something. You could see a piece of the future excel and say, we shit the bed, but you know what? We're actually looking pretty decent from what that guy showed us. Could be a one and done, flash in the pan type thing, but you know what? There's an ounce of promise now. Because this season took so much out of me. It really did. It's really, like I said, it took my passion, shook it at the foundation. Because never again will I be able to enjoy a 9-3 team as much as I should. Now, granted, if they get to 9-3, I'm going to be excited, but it's always going to be dampened now. I'm always going to temper the amount of excitement I have. And frankly, as far as trash talking goes, I'm fucking done what little I ever did. Because right now, like if you're like a Redskins fan, a Cowboys fan, and a Giants fan, why would you even care if some Eagles fan talked trash to you? This is like, I harken back to the days of my childhood when Nintendo and Genesis, Sega Genesis, were head-to-head at each other. And Sega Genesis used to make all these commercials saying, Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and like showing, you know, side screen caps of games of like showing Sonic the Hedgehog, and then showing Mario Kart, and showing how like slow and clunky it looks compared to Sonic that's whirling around and all this shit. And I'm like, damn, fucking Nintendo outsells them. Nintendo is more known worldwide. It's a stronger brand and all this other shit. And Genesis always talks fucking smack about them, but Nintendo never did. Nintendo just said, who gives a shit if fucking Sega's talking about us? We fucking sell more units. We sell more games. We're king of the fucking video game world. It's the 1980s. Recognize, Sega. Fucking recognize. So I'm like, why should like Eagles fans like talk shit to teams that have had so much more success than us? I know, I know the whole thing. It's so stupid to just lean on the past, but with franchises that have such a storied history and past of success, it does have to factor into the equation somewhere. Now, granted, if your team fucking sucks the shits, and if like Dallas Cowboys are like 1-15. And they're going into their final game, 1-14, they're going to the final game against the Eagles, and the Dallas fans are still talking trash. Of course, in a situation like that, if the Eagles are 14-1, and Dallas is 1-14, yeah, you shouldn't be talking trash in that circumstance. But it's like to the point now where it's like, I don't even care. Because right now, my ultimate goal is what all of my rivals' teams can know that they have in the bank. Multiple Super Bowls. Multiple. For each and every one of my rivals' fans. Multiple. For everyone else in the NFC East. If I just had one in the bank, just one. But instead, I gotta sit there and I gotta go, geez, how much more of a spectacular fashion can this team fuck the fans over again? Because this year was a fucking doozy. Oh, that 9-3? Best record in the NFL, tied with several other teams. And then you don't even make the playoffs, but not only that, you're eliminated from playoff contention by week 16. Wow. We don't fucking deserve that shit. Be repping the green here no matter what. But I'm tired of fucking saying the win, lose, or draw. I'll be back next year. I'll be back no matter the fuck what. But god damn. God damn, this shit is way more painful than it should be. 9-3 and oh fucking hell. I'd rather be a team that just sucks than a team that teases you in such a spectacular fashion, only to collapse in an even more spectacular fashion. Anyway, I'm predicting the Giants to win, mainly because, not that I'm rooting against the Eagles, but the Giants have just been flat out playing better football the past 3 weeks. Convincing wins, multiple wins in a row. Yeah, they lost in Jacksonville, I get all that, but ever since that Jacksonville loss, that team has turned around. They've been playing some convincing football. And again, with how ODB's playing and how Manning is actually looking like a decent quarterback in the home stretch here, straight up, even if this game meant something, I think the Giants would have still won. Anyway, not really much I'm going to take from this game other than seeing a couple new pieces show some promising hints of having a potential good future. Other than that, I don't care if Shady runs for 150. I don't care if Sanchez could throw for 400 yards. Doesn't fucking matter. He won't be here next year. Doesn't fucking matter. I already know what Shady can do. He's got to prove he can get it done next year when real games roll around again. Anyway, have a great day. A better tomorrow. Go Eagles. And congrats to the Dallas Cowboys again for winning the NFC East. I'm going to go vomit now. Have a good day, guys.